So Chris Chen's a guy, isn't
Yeah, he sucks his giant ass.
We did a single stinking video about him, and it blew up.
Mm.
And it was just about my thoughts as an ex-prisoner about what he might experience behind bars. I still stand by a lot of those thoughts. If he should encounter other fucking people for extended periods of time. I don't know what the deal is, but by my experienced reckoning, this guy should be dead already.
Yeah.
And yet, he's alive. Now, it's not uncommon for a prisoner in jail for their, sentencing to just be extended and extended and extended. These decisions sometimes, go on for months. I currently have a friend in jail that's already been sentenced, but the means that he is going to carry out his sentence by have yet to be decided by the judge. So he's been sentenced to 3 years, and he's already done 1.5 years in jail waiting for the decision. So might as well just fucking leave him in jail at that point.
Yeah.
Probably are. And they'll be like, he's going to get paroled, whatever. So I don't know what the fuck's going on with Chris Chan. I don't know what detail. I don't keep up with Chris Chan. Because honestly, it's exhausting to keep up with Chris Chan. It's one of those characters, for me personally, that I catch up on every now and then I'm like, I'm done for months.
Yeah.
But I do know that really the wheels have, not been turning as fast as people expect them to. Welcome to the justice system. But there's also that grim possibility that he might skate by based on, the fact that he's clearly a loon.
Oh, yeah.
So all I got to say, you asked me earlier today, is what would you do if you were stuck in a cell with Chris?
Yeah.
I was not a violent prisoner. I'm not a career criminal. I went to prison once. I don't want to go again. I don't plan to go again. And yet, I am pretty damn sure that if I had been stuck with this guy, I would have seriously considered and or actively pursued the idea of murder. He's just so...
Yeah,
wow,
dude.
man. Wow. He's wow, guy.
Yeah, like no degree of what's it called? Whatever he has.
Autism?
Yeah, autism excuses his awfulness as a person.
No, I will say that there's people that doubt that he has autism. Much like they doubt that he's actually... What is he like? What does he consider himself now? Trans?
Yeah.
Fucking dimensional now? I think he does have autism. I think that's probably the clearest thing. Because he's so easily convinced of certain things, and, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the other video. Definitely not going to rewatch it and remind myself.
No, who would watch that shit?
But, I've had friends with autism that I've been around, like physically around. One of our beloved viewers is unfortunately plagued with autism. And I'm sure there's been a few. In fact, there has been a few in the comments that are like, "Yo, I'm autistic." Autism is a fucking spectrum. There's perfectly, almost indistinguishably, almost indistinguishable from quote unquote normal people that are autistic, and they, they cover the gamut, so to speak. But Chris is like on that far ass end, guy.
Yeah.
He's on that end that I bet you every freaking autist is like, this.
It's terrible.
This is terrible. Please don't do this. Everybody thinks we're like this now. I bet you, like, recently we had Will Smith slap Chris Rock, and somehow they're making it a race issue.
Yeah.
Forgetting the fact that people are like outraged that he slapped Chris Rock, which is, I don't know, black?
Super black, I hear.
Super black. Yeah. One might argue that Chris Rock is blacker than Will Smith.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I agree with that.
I'm going to say so because Will Smith is like a weird guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you drop Will Smith in the middle of the hood, he's going to feel out of place.
Yeah. People are going to be like, is that Will? Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
It's definitely not going to be Philadelphia playing b-ball anymore.
Dude.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, somehow they made that into that. Mm-hmm. But I bet you, black people have had a real hard time in America. I don't know if anybody's aware of that.
Yeah.
They've had a hell of a time, trying to just get a solid place in society. And then somehow high-profile dude that just happens to be black slaps another guy, and forget the fact that Chris Rock's like one of the most stand-up fucking dudes, literally a stand-up. Everybody's just looking at Will Smith.
And definitely black.
He's definitely black. But everybody's looking at Will Smith.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those moments where, because it's so high profile, I bet you there was a lot of black folk that are like in the civil rights front lines that are like, come on, guy.
Yeah.
Just because you did this, all the assholes now are like, look at that moment. And that's all they'll think about. Chris Chan is that guy for autists. Forget all the advances we made, trying to understand what autism is, the struggles that autists themselves have done to try to, beat this incapacity to blend with society, to understand social cues and all that. There's people that have done a lot to just, lead a normal life.
Yeah.
And then this moron
exists,
fucking shambles into the room and goes, look at me. Yeah. And everybody's like, that's what they all got to be like, right? It's terrible. He sucks. He's awful, man. And then don't get me wrong, I feel sorry for the guy, but he should be shanked.
I think we're a little nice in that last one. It seems like the niceness has gone away.
I wish no violence on him. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but you would shank him.
But if I was a terrible person,
so he'd be dead.
He'd be dead. Yeah. So I hope. Some people in the comments there have said, he's probably going to end up in a psychiatric institution. And I did mention, I believe, in that other video that that's probably not a place that would be better than prison, because it's misery, man. I mean, you've been in a psych ward with people that were imprisoned in psych wards, and that was pretty shitty, and that was only for a small amount of time. But places, like I was locked up with a dude that ended up in a psych ward, and I'll tell you what, he got lucky, because really his original sentence had nothing to do with his mental state. And that's not a guy that you want to be locked up with if you're actually mentally incapacitated. You know what I'm saying? And Chris just, oh God. He's terrible, dude. This is a guy who not only has this mental issue, but he's just a terrible person, man.
Yeah.
And of course you can partially blame that on the way his parents raised him, which we can all agree was ass level raising. Like they coddled this kid and made him think that he was right. So now he's an entitled jerk on top of everything. And that's part of the blame, of course.
Yeah, I'm always impressed how someone so shitty and clearly stupid can be so full of themselves.
Yeah, really, man. Really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he is super full of himself. The other end of the spectrum is, of course, that, he was trolled and manipulated for so long.
To oblivion.
That clearly affected him too. But imagine Chris Chan in a vacuum. I have a feeling he'd still be pretty fucking shitty, man. He's just, he's not a person that was ever allowed. And this is really not his fault. He was never allowed the opportunity to learn how to get around his condition. He was given all the wrong tools. And as a result, he's possibly unfixable. If Ayn Rand was around, she'd be like, yeah, it's time to euthanize that guy,
Yeah, I'm bringing in the Ayn.
Ayn was an asshole guy. Anus Rand, they called her. But she believed that if you could contribute nothing to society, you might as well just kill this person.
What does Ayn Rand have to do with anything?
I'm just saying, if she was around and in charge, she would be like, this guy's gone, guy.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people would agree with her, sadly.
Well, I'm not saying that's the right thing. I'm just saying that's what she would do.
Yeah.
Because there's also another person that starts with the letter A that would say the same.
Damn, homie.
So what I'm saying here, Ayn Rand
Al
sucks.
Smith?
No, not Al. Although I think Al would be annoyed at fucking Chris Chan. Everybody would be annoyed with Chris Chan. It's jokes aside, he's a living tragedy.
Yeah.
And if sometimes somebody with depression, like I know you go through, everybody does to some degree. Don't get me wrong, but you're clinically depressed. Like I don't know if we've ever mentioned that. Maybe we have, but the point is, you're clinically depressed.
Yeah.
you know, and I came out with a lot of fucking issues from doing time, and now I deserve to do that time. I'm not crying about it, but you know, I'm pretty sure I have some severe fucking like PTSD and all that shit because I've gone through some shit. It's hard to get over certain hills that you have to climb in your life, and it's all the harder when they're in you, you know, inside you. This jerk was born with them, and that's something that you could genuinely feel sorry for him. I'll feel pity, and I don't mean that in the pathetic pity way, but you know, you feel sad for him because he is a living tragedy. But at the same time,
trash,
dude. Oh my god, yeah. Like, at what point do you draw the line between pity and all right, you gotta go, guy?
Yeah, I agree.
Jump off this cliff, please.
If anything, I think he should be used as like a thought experiment. You know, like at what point, like you said, at what point is it okay to just murder someone? Like realistically, I mean, does this guy exist? Can we all agree that he dies?
Yeah.
Please?
You know, before someone calls us assholes, which is perfectly justifiable, by the way. I would argue that I'm on the list of people that would be like, all right, just get rid of this guy. He's useless.
Yeah.
I'm on that list. But you know who's below me on that list? Or I guess above me to go first? Fucking Chris, man.
Yeah, I agree.
What is this thing that's like part of the human story now?
Yeah.
And it's getting worse by the second. He now thinks he's a god. I mean, he already had these delusions of grandeur, don't get me wrong. But now he's like written new commandments. And this state that he's been driven to is, well, what is that? Can you fix someone at that point? No. And what benefit is it for him to be in, you know, some psychiatric institution?
Yeah.
Especially one that's not going to give a shit about fixing him.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if it's some state institution that he's sentenced to, they don't give a shit, guy. They're just literally putting you on hold until they're like, we can't afford this guy. He looks sort of okay. Let's let him back out. Next thing you know, he's doing God knows what. You know, unleashed on the streets because probably Barbara will be dead by then.
Hide your mothers.
Definitely hide your mothers, yeah. So this, I don't know what to say, man. I felt like we had an obligation to at least put out one more Christian video. But it's not a good one. It's just to say that the holy shit
sucks balls.
You know, again, not advocating this guy dies.
Yeah.
But I feel like, realistically speaking, that would be his most useful fucking form. His final form.
I feel like at least he would be contributing to something. Worm food?
Yeah, yeah, shit, man. Plant a little fucking garden over his damn corpse hole.
I wouldn't want to be around those trees, though.
Yeah, those trees would stink.
Like freaking Fanta and cum.
I was watching. Oh God, I was watching this little, I guess, retrospective that Gamer from Mars is doing. Watch that; it's really good. If you want to get the TLDR on Christian, it's pretty solid. Versus
78,000 episodes.
Yeah, what's his name? Geno Samuel. He's like on episode 1 grillion at the moment. If you want to get the very thorough story, then go there. But if you want to get a good, you know, overview that's still very detailed, Game from Mars is doing a really good one. And he has like footage of him interacting with him, and oh my god, it's not even like the offensive shit he did. It's just him being him.
Yeah.
And I mean, in all honesty, I feel sorry, guy, because, you know, I think everybody has trouble. Well, most people have trouble knowing how to interact. Once they get over that hill, they can kind of settle into it. But this guy, despite having obvious, you know, a social adapting issues that come with the condition that he has, it seems that he's also very comfortable being a fucking cock.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's so freaking weird about it. Like, how can you be both at the same time?
Yes. How can you be socially awkward and a complete freaking dick? Answer, Christian.
Yeah.
So he's definitely a guy, and yeah, man. I suggested we do a series on you asking me questions of what would a prisoner do in X situation, X situation. But that came from this this particular question that we started the video with, which was, what would I do if I was stuck with Christian?
Yeah, murder.
And shit, man, if I was in there for a stretch,
just murder him.
That dude's dead, guy. You know, I'm
Yeah.
putting myself in the shoes of prisoners that I met that were doing a lot of time, and
Yeah.
he's dead. You know what I'm saying? You know, there was a guy that literally sawed through a dude's neck. Didn't even live with him. Just couldn't stand the idea of this guy existing. He had no grudge with him. Nothing. He just found him annoying. And the guy was there, the guy that sawed the other guy's neck was just doing, I think he was doing like a 25-year sentence. So he had, with the possibility of parole. And he was almost there, guy. And by almost, I mean like he still had like 10 years to go. But still, you know, that's almost if you got a 25. And he sawed through that guy's, up to the spinal cord. Just because he couldn't stand him. Imagine being stuck with this guy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Whoever is with him is gonna be terrible.
I hope they don't put him with somebody.
Yeah.
If somebody's with him now, that man is a saint.
Yeah.
That man is a fucking saint and should be given
Yeah, I feel
a fucking Medal of Honor.
that's the difference with at least, you know, in case anybody's wondering why he's still alive. That's the difference between jail and prison is you're just waiting basically, right?
Yeah, and look, yeah. I don't know if we mentioned that, but in the other video, but in jail you might skate by more than you would in prison, because in jail, like you say, everybody's waiting. Everybody still has an inkling of hope that they may get off or may get a lighter sentence than they think they deserve. So sometimes things are overlooked. Don't get me wrong. Fucking jailhouses are thunderdomes, man. There's fights galore. But they're almost more often than not very carefully staged. You know, people know where to fight, know when to fight, know when the picket is not looking. That's the guards, you know, in their station. You know, all that shit. But more than that is very rare, you know? And it's usually just to settle some beef or to get somebody to leave or something like that. So if he is with people in jail, holy shit, they're saints already, even though they're showing some restraint. If he's not, that explains a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect he may not be. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really kept up on the details there. That friend that I mentioned, he's done the majority of his time in isolation by choice, which I told him not to do. One, because you're bored out of your mind. And two, because if he did end up going to prison, he, as they say, carries a jacket with him, which basically means they will find out that you were in isolation in prison, and then they'll make some really wild assumptions, even if they have proof in front of their fucking eyes that you have no reason to be in isolation that's suspicious. They will make that assumption, and your life will be miserable. So if this motherfucking Chris Chan does go to prison, you know, already the fact that he, let's say he's in isolation, they're going to find out his charge. And that's a bad charge to have. You know what I'm saying? And even if he's not, because he's annoying in him, they will find out his charge. And then, you know, what the fuck? So the alternative is, of course, that psychiatric thing was just terrible way to exist. It's no good, guy.
Mm-hmm.
The Chris Chan situation is no good. Nobody's winning in this, except, I guess, really sadistic people that get their rocks off, which we know there's a lot of them, that get their rocks off of this guy, you know, failing at life. You know, and, you know, I'm not criticizing, you know, everybody's been in a stage of their life where they're kind of assholes, but I do hope that some of those people that did fucked up shit to him have come to realize that that was kind of fucked up to do. You know, that he's such an easy target, even.
Yeah.
That
There's
is
no sport in it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's just fucked. You know what I'm saying? But maybe they don't. But at the same time, Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, I mean, I kind of get it. He's so annoying that you want to punch him.
In the nuts.
In the nuts.
But then your hand would stink.
Damn, it would, guy.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That Chris Chan conundrum keeps on going. Let's see what happens.
Experiment, I tells you.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with a guy as time goes by. I guess more time goes by. So anyway, that's a thing we did. That's an update. We're out.
Stinky.